Hello everyone, now to get started open up Roblox Studio and click on the view button. Let's open Explorer and properties. Now we're going to add a script, and if you look here in service and workspace, this is where you can add your script or inside a tool when you added the tool in starter pack. So click on service, click on this plus sign, and you can click on this thing here also and click on script, or you can just, when you click on this plus sign, click on that, you can type in script. Now scripts and the local script, border script, will focus on scripts for now. So we have here a print hello world. If we open the output by clicking view and output, this print will show this hello world inside our output. So we can test this by clicking on test, and when we click this arrow down, we can, if we click play, it will just, the player will just join, or run is a faster way to do this, and the player won't actually join. So here we see hello world, so we can click on this hello world and it will take us to the line of the print. So I'm going to click here on stop, and so print is a built-in function, and let's delete this argument inside. And when you add a left, this is a left and a right parentheses. When you add this, you're calling this function. Now if you don't add any type value inside, nothing will happen. Okay, so in Lua we have 8 basic types, and we're going to cover 5 of these types, and function we won't cover in detail. Let's look at one of the first types. So we have a string. So a string is we have a double quote and another double quote. So here we've created a string type. We haven't actually added any value inside. So we can add a value, like let's say hello, and we could put a space, say hello there. So this is a type string, and we have a value of hello there inside. So if we delete this double quote, this won't be, now this is no longer a string, this one. We have to have 2 double quotes, and then inside are characters. Now another way to write a string is with a 2 single quotes, and then inside you can put sequence of characters. And okay, so let's delete this one. Let me write print. Let's look at another data type. I'm going to put this data type, this type inside. So we have a number. So a number can be a negative number, so -1. We can have 0. Let me move that. We can have a positive number. Let's make it 5. We can even have decimal. We can say 5.2. So let me show you something now also. Print, we're going to add a string inside this print as an argument, and we're going to put also 5.2. Now although it's both 5.2, they have the same value, 5.2, but they are not the same type. So this is a string and this is a number type. Okay, let's delete that one. Let's look at another type, Boolean. So Boolean has only 2 values. It's either true or false. So you have true or you have false. Only 2 you can learn. It's easy to learn. And I'm gonna, before I look at other types, let's add them inside variables. So I'm gonna delete this. Okay, so I'm gonna create a global variable. Let's call it my pet name. I'm gonna assign it a value of a type string. So I'm gonna put double quote, and let's put my pet name here, Pooh Bear. So this is the variable name, and this equal sign, we're saying assigning this variable to this value, which is a type, this value, which is a type string. So this is how you create a variable, and this is known as a global variable. So let's add another variable. I'm going to put age, and I'm going to put it a number type. So I'm going to put 30. I think it's around 13, my age of my pet. And next I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it is female. And for this one, I'm just going to use Boolean, which I'm going to put a Boolean type if the value is true. Okay, so here's another type I'm going to show you guys. So this type is called null. So I'm going to make this variable name children, and I'm going to say equal to null. Null type has only one value, which is also null. So it's only one to learn there. Okay, so now let's print out our variables. So now we can just put my pet inside here. So my pet becomes or is this value, which is a string, and I'm going to print out after this age, and I'm going to print out is female, and let's add another print for children. So now when we test this, we see we have Pooh Bear, 13, Drew, and null. Let's stop that. Okay, so concatenation. So concatenation is how you combine strings. So you can put these two dots and then put another string. Let's put Pooh Bear. Let's put 1. Now we've just combined these two. So you can we can combine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say name. So you don't know the type of pet, so mine is a dog. So now let's concatenate the string. And you can also concatenate numbers, so you can say age. This will also work, so the number will be turned into a string. But what you can't do is you can't concatenate booleans or any other thing. So you don't do this. Since this is a boolean, it can't concatenate with a string. What we can do with functions, we can put a comma. So this, you see this function, we can put comma and this will work. You can't do this. This won't work. You can't say comma and because the comma is only for functions. It's for functions. Just mean one argument and then put the comma and another argument. So children, I'm just going to say as children. And I'm going to put the comma. And now let's test this. So here we have it. So you can click and go to the line where it prints. Okay, so let's stop that, and I want to show you now comments. So let's move this down so it doesn't fill up. So comments is there to make your program so you can add more details. So let's say we want to add, you can create a comment by saying 2 hyphens and then add some characters. So I'm going to say null. So I'm just going to say, give you an example of what type this is. So that's a null, and this is a type Boolean. And let's add here double hyphen, write a comment, and this is type number, and this is the type string. Now what you can't do is you can't put this, you can do it, but if you put this in front, it will, now this whole line is a comment. So when you see it's green, notice it's a comment. Now another thing you can do is a multi-line comment. You can put this and then 2 brackets and 2 closing brackets and then hyphens, and then inside you can say, now you don't have to put these hyphens, so you can say multi-line. I'm just going to write here test. So you can just write inside this comments here, so it will be ignored. Okay, so I'm going to clear these comments. This comment, this comment, this comment. So now, okay, let's just clear this concatenation here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you local variables. So we created global, but local is when you put the local keyword in front of your variable. So here we have a local, and I would say make your variables local. I will explain you the difference, but for now always put local in front. So here we can say, when we create another variable, we can say local test. And also with variables, let's just say equal sign 1, 2, 3, anything. So with variables, let me show you the naming. So when you name a variable, you can't name it like a number and then your text. And also you can't put a symbol and then your text. And you can't use reserved or keywords. Like local is a keyword. You can't say local because local is already taken. And likewise, you can't say print because print is already I don't know if this will work, but print is already, I believe, taken. So here's also a list of other keywords you should not name your variables. Okay, so what I want to show you also is when you write test and you don't assign it, this will become null also. This variable is now null. And let me show you another thing. I'm gonna bring this back. Okay, so now let's delete this one. And let's do so. Here you can change your variable. Your variable. So let's say age. We're going to change it to, we're going to assign it to 14. So now we've basically changed it. So age was 13, but now we made it 14, and we can print it out, and it will change to 14. Let's do this. Let's add a weight, and weight is a function, and you notice the left and right parentheses. So we're going to put a number value type inside. So let's put. So this will just tell us how long the program should wait on this line. You see line 10. So it will go from 1 till 10 and it will wait there. And it won't go any further. So let's wait 10 seconds. So before we go to these lines, we're going to wait 10 seconds. And on that note, I'm also going to print out here test in the front. So you can see that test is null. So now let's test this program and click run. Okay, so you see null. When you click on that line, it takes us to test and age 13. And now we don't see the other code. That's because we put a wait function. The 10 seconds went past and it's now age 14. Age is 14. Alright, so let's delete this prints here and also this test. Let's look at now another type. So we're going to look at the function. So you can say local let's say my function, this is the name, equals function end. So this is a type function. So you've noticed that we used the print function. This is technically our own function called my function. And you can also then use this function by saying my function left right parentheses. And now you've used the function, but nothing will happen because there's nothing inside. But we'll discuss functions in future tutorials. Another way you can write the function, instead of saying my function equals, look, you can just say function and then the name my function. So yes, functions can be stored in variables or is stored in variables. Guys, another thing I want to mention with variables, if you say, let's say test, and we say equals to, let's make it just a number type, and we say local test, let's also make it 1. These two are not, let's make it 2. These two are different because the T is a capital and this T is a small letter. So just notice that. And also when you reassign a variable, when you assign a variable again, so we want to change test, don't put a local again in front of it. You just do it like so, test.